Hey, welcome back to On the Peg with me, your host, the one, the only, the eyebrow-raising, the bearded toyholic. I am, of course, the Mad Montreal Man, and to be honest with you, I didn't think there was going to be a show this week. With everything that's come out in the United States and nothing showing up in Canada, and after last week, I didn't think I had anything to review. I was like, what am I going to review? There's nothing really new that's come in that I want to review, and there's a lot of stuff that was announced. I mean, you've got you got the Hawk Girl, 2 versions, of course, Platinum, Poison Ivy, 2 versions, the 80s Wonder Woman, 2 versions, and then they also released, all of a sudden, you got a whole bunch of Page Punchers again, 4 of them. You got the Sentinel Black Mask, Brainiac 5, Sinestro, a new Black Adam. There's been so much stuff that's come out this week that, I'll talk about it in the editorial. But I did decide to do something this week. I was hoping to eventually get the Platinum of this figure. But I figured, you know what? You need a show on Friday. And the alternate was to do, the trilogy from the Dark Knight universe, the Joker and Bane. But when I looked at these guys, I went, I've already done a review of him, and it's basically the same figure, slight different color, extra features, and it's the same thing for the Bane, but I figure I have not done this figure yet. So I was hoping to get the Platinum, but I didn't find it. And I've had this one on the shelf for a while, but I figured, you know what, let's do it anyway. We're going to do Greg Sanders, the first Vigilante, and talk about him, especially since now that I have a extra horse, put him with Jonah Hex, nice little Western shelf eventually. But what do you say I get my good friend, the enemy of all Minton package, my friend and ally in this war against McFarlane flooding the market with stuff, driving us poor collectors broke. We want the figures, you want them, especially some of these red labels coming out. The Sentinel's a red label, it looks really good. You want both versions of Poison Ivy, Hawk Girl, and Wonder Woman, and all the other figures that got announced or just released in the States. But getting back to the point, I'm going to get my friend Dr. Scalpel. He's so shiny. And let's take Greg Sanders out of the package. Now, this is one of those characters that, it's a Western character, but he's also not a Western character. And there's been a few times he's had his own comic book, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. And I'm going to finish taking good old Greg Sanders out of the package, throw in the close-up, and we'll be back to talk about him in a second or two. with quite a few accessories. Starting off with, of course, is the card. You know he's got the base. He also has the shotgun, the Bowie knife, tomahawk lasso, and of course, the 6 guns. And soft good mask, you saw him in close-up, it was pulled up over his face. I do like the fact that he's got the proper accessories. As for what would have been nicer, a hat you could take off. That would have been cool if you take the cowboy hat off, but we can't be too biggy sometimes, because a lot of times with action figures like this in the past, when they had a hat you could take off, I'm talking Marvel Legends here, the hat was always extra large to fit the sculpted head, but I like them. As for the body, it's pretty much the same body we've seen with Jonah Hex. If you got Blackhawk or the Steve Trevor body, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much a panted body figure. I don't care. I want this character. I like this character. The platinum's a bit darker, which would have been cool as well to have, but hey, it is what it is. This is what I do recommend, and same thing for the comic books. If you're looking for an old comic book this series, there's been quite a few series of Vigilante, and I've enjoyed them all. They never lasted long enough because it is a different character, because you think, oh, it's set in the Wild Wild West, but it's not. It's set in the Midwestern towns of modern day. I mean, you could have Greg Sanders here dealing with Batman even. It would be so cool to see different views on vigilantism. Now, I'm also surprised that McFarlane Toys didn't take an advantage of this to do the other Vigilante. The one that was a former lawyer, you know who I'm talking about, Adrian Chase. That Vigilante would have been kind of cool. You'd have the Western Vigilante and the Vigilante that they eventually killed off and replaced with a girl, and that didn't go very far either. But yeah, that's it for the show. But I am going to rant a little bit here now. Sorry, it's a bit of a rant. I'm tired. I didn't think I'd have a show this week for a couple of reasons. One, I'm working 10 days straight before I'm on a day off. That's one reason. So I'm physically, emotionally, and mentally tired. Two is, well, as I mentioned before, all these action figures came out in the States, but there's been nothing here in Canada. Which brings up a bit of an issue. Two issues, actually. One is, why is Canada being punished by getting all this stuff last when it's all out in the States? I mean, this guy was reviewed a while ago. That's why I didn't want to review him, because when he came out, he was already reviewed. And I'm like, well, I don't want to review something again that everyone's already reviewed. Because, I'm trying to do stuff that you might not have seen too much reviews of, but that's the problem. When McFarlane Toys sending stuff out in the States and making Canada wait. I mean, the average wait in Canada is about 2 months now. Those Wonder Woman figures, been out in the States for a while. So is a whole bunch of other figures out in the States for a while. We haven't gotten them yet. And all the ones that came out like this week, like Sentinel and Black Mask and all those, well, guess what? Who knows when we're going to get them? They're not even up on Amazon.ca yet. So you can't even order them that way. So it's a bit frustrating for that. As a Canadian toy collector, it's like you want these figures, and you don't want to have to pay, well, basically called third-party prices, where you're paying an arm and a leg to get figures. Now, I am happy they announced that they're doing a Beast Boy regular, unlike the San Diego Con one, which is nice. I hope they do Geoforce as well, so that, the ones that were Con exclusive, we get at least a basic version of it, which would be nice. But what brings up the other point is that, as a collector, I'm happy McFarlane is putting out all these figures we weren't expecting. It's great. But they should have done it in a different way. They should have done it more slightly spread out. Like maybe 2 figures a week instead of going, oh, by the way, here's an entire wave. Boom. Good luck finding them. Because that's what's going to happen. You're going to have the people who are going to basically go buy a whole bunch, hoard them, wait till people like you and me are trying to get the figures, and then we'll be gouged for prices on them. So in some ways, it's a bit of a frustration because, well, as you can tell, I want to collect DC Multiverse, and so do you. You're watching this channel. But it becomes extremely frustrating when you can't get them, because they're out in the States, we don't get them. Good example, the Orange Lantern, LaFreeze. Good luck. Oh, I can get them if I want to spend like $80. So it's a little unfair, and I just kind of sort of wish that McFarlane Toys would say, hey, you know what, let's make it come out at the same time. Let's give our Canadian base the same chance as the States. Because think about it this way, we're not that far off from the US border. I mean, if you go, for example, in Ottawa, you cross the Buffalo, they're out in the States. So if I could somehow get across the border and have enough money to buy everything in one shot, I'd have them all this weekend. But I don't have the means to get across the States. Plus, my passport's been expired a long time ago. So it's kind of frustrating. What's also more frustrating is Todd McFarlane's partner, Stéphane Tréteau, is a Canadian based in Montreal. He owns EB Games. So it's just frustrating. You know, as a toy collector, you want to end the DC multiverse, gain as many as you possibly can, but this frustration is just kind of like, good luck. What's probably going to happen is this year is going to end. Mattel takes over next year, and people like me who want to get like the platinum of this guy, or you know, La Freeze or Sentinel, or the red platinums that come out, we're going to be kind of hooped. Even the Ross ones, for example. There's a new Ross Superman came out in the States. I haven't seen it for pre-order. I haven't even seen it at the stores. The Henry Cavill Black Superman, I have to get from Amazon because EB Games never got it here. So that's the frustration. It's the same with Mattel. Mattel's second wave of kid toys is out in the States, already being reviewed. Are you in Canada? Have you seen any? Have you? I haven't. If you're in Ireland, have you seen any? That's the frustration. Even Mattel's doing the same thing. Coming out in the States, anywhere else, well, too bad, you're going to have to wait and probably pay more for it. But yeah, I'm tired. It's working this many hours straight in 1 week. It's frustrating. And that's why I didn't think there'd be a show, because I am tired. Nothing's come out. And also the fact, even the stuff I've missed, like I didn't pick up the Superman Mogul 2-pack yet. I just can't afford it. But that's it for the show. I hope you do like it anyway, so please do the YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you are going to share it with, well, EB Games, McFarlane, any toy store that can actually send me the stuff, especially Mattel too. Because it'd be nice. I mean, off the topic, I almost had a sponsor for the show. I know, I almost had a sponsor. Go figure that one out. My editor's still having a heart attack over it. But I have to turn it down. Because the sponsor worked in a way that I would plug their product, and if you bought their product, I would get a 10% if you used the code I would give you. So it's really not worth it for me. That, when I looked into the product, I don't believe in the product, so I turned it down. I know. I turned down a sponsor that literally would have had me doing commercials for them for free, basically. So I'm a bit frustrated with that. And I'm tired. And yeah, I'm ranting. I know what I'm ranting. I'm sorry. But, you know, it's like, this is what we come down to now. But I am looking forward to eventually getting as many of the DC multiverses as I possibly can. And like I said, it'd be nice if other companies said, hey, we want you to review our stuff too, because I looked at the Elite stuff. It looks pretty good. I wouldn't mind some of it. Can't afford it. So it's one of those things where you're a collector like me. You probably want to get them. You want to have them. You want to put them on the shelf. Oh, and by the way, he's going front of the shelf with Jonah Hex on a Western shelf with 2 horses behind him. Because even though technically he should be on a motorcycle, I still think that looks good too. But that's it for the show. Sorry for ranting. Just have to get it off my chest. That plus the fact it is really late at night that I'm filming this. I didn't think I was going to film, but like I said, I promised you guys a show on Friday, so you're getting a show on Friday. I'm not as funny as I normally am either, so sorry about that. But next week, worst case, Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, Joker, and Bane. But hopefully something comes in by then. And as ever, if you guys want me to review something, I don't have it, send it to me. I will review it. That goes for toy companies too. And on that wonderful note, do your best for your body, your mind, and emotional well-being. Even though I'm not doing so good this week, but you still got to do your best to stay healthy. And when you get an action figure that has a really good amount of accessories, well, that's a good way to stay happy. And when you think, okay, down the road, eventually I'll be able to get some of these figures that came out, you still got to do your best to stay positive. And on that note, guys, have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Shane, I hope you had a good time watching those concerts. I'm a bit jealous. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully I get some more stuff to review. And we'll end off this season in December with the last of DC Multiverse. And after that, who knows if there'll be a show. I don't know. But I'm gonna go try to get some sleep. It's like pretty late at night, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care. Welcome back to On the Peg with me, your host, the one, the only, the eyebrow raising, the bearded, toyaholic, the physically, emotionally, and mentally exhausted Mad Montreal man. And I didn't think there was going to be a show this week. I've been working. Let's not even talk about that. If you bought a Western figure like Jonah Hex, it's the same basic body. Or if you got Black Hawk or the Steve Trevor, and I have a very long, it's my hair, sorry. Let's take that over again. I got distracted by my own hair. It's like, what is that on my shoulder? I'm tired. Jonah Hex, it's the same body. You'd probably pretty much find with the Steve Trevor, and he just fell down, so that makes a freaking blooper.